Top stories of the day: new regions adding to the Schengen Zone, and Swiss cabin crew passes away after an emergency landing. Welcome to Escape News, your go-to source for travel updates and inspiration. I'm Zoe and I will guide you through the latest stories. Now let's dive in. Planning a getaway to the stunning islands of the Philippines, the UK Foreign Office has issued an urgent update for British travellers, introducing a new requirement: mandatory registration with the eTravel system. Now this is something that is coming in waves in multiple countries. This is not something that we're a stranger to, so let's get into it. Every traveller from the UK must register on the eTravel system up to 72 hours before their flight. While you can complete this process closer to your departure, it is definitely recommended to register early, as the airlines actually might require you to present a QR code or confirmation screenshot before boarding. This digital system is designed to enhance border management and health tracking, as well as provide the economic data for the country to check how many people and visitors, tourists, etc. are coming in and out. But here's the good news: registration is free. And I mean, as a British person, don't we always love the free stuff? Definitely. When done by the eTravel website, but please be cautious of fake website charging fees. You can actually find a lot of these. This happened to my friend when he's going to Australia. He found a fake website versus the real one, luckily booked with the real one. But there are websites out there that will try and scam you. Just make sure that you go to the eTravel website. Best thing to do is go to the government website and take the directions from there. But the Philippines allows UK tourists to visit visa-free for up to 30 days. But there are a few other essentials that you need to keep in mind. Your passport must be valid for at least 6 months beyond your arrival date, and you'll also need a return or onward travel ticket to be permitted entry. Failure to comply with these requirements could lead to complications at the airport, and the airlines could potentially deny you boarding, and you could also have a fine, and you don't really want that when you've just arrived in a new country. You want to spend your money on your holiday. But you need to make sure you have these necessary documents. This is very similar in some other countries. For example, Thailand. I've just been to Thailand. You have to be able to have a outward flight on your entry. No, you don't specifically get a visa, but you do have 30 days, and they do track that, and then you end up with a fine. It's not much. I think it ends up being like £15, but it's just worth keeping on track of that anyway. But as the Philippines continues to tighten its travel protocols, these new measures are crucial for ensuring a smooth and stress-free journey. Stay informed and prepared to make the most of your time in this tropical paradise. Swiss International Airlines has confirmed the heartbreaking loss of a cabin crew member hospitalised after emergency landing on December the 23rd, 2024. Because now we're in 2025, which feels ridiculously crazy. But anyway, let's move on. The incident involved flight LX 2046 and an Airbus A220-300. I need to learn how to say these flight names. Probably because I'm putting one of my best friends to shame right now, because he's training to be a pilot and I say these completely wrong all the time. I need to put my research into this. But this was forced to land at Graz Airport in Austria after smoke filled the cockpit and cabin. The airline shared the tragic news on December 30th, with the CEO offering a heartfelt condolences. They said that "We are devastated at our dear colleague's death. His loss has left us all in the deepest of shock and grief. Our thoughts are with his family, whose pain we cannot imagine." Out of respect for the grieving family, Swiss has withheld specific details regarding the cause of death. Flight LX 2046 departed Bucharest International Airport bound for Zurich. Shortly after takeoff, the crew detected engine issues, leading to smoke engulfing the aircraft's cockpit and cabin. The aircraft safely landed at Graz Airport at 17:53 local time, which is just over half an hour after their departure. While all 74 passengers and 5 crew members were safely evacuated, 2 of the 3 cabin crew members were hospitalised due to the incident. Pre-investigations point to a technical issue in one of the aircraft's engines as the likely source of the smoke. Investigators are meticulously examining the mechanical components, including the engine, and evaluating the use of protective breathing equipment, PBE, by the cabin crew. During the emergency, Swiss emphasised the difficulties of such inquiries, stating investigations of this kind are complex and Swiss is also dependent on information from the investigating authorities and manufacturers. The airline has pledged full cooperation with authorities and remains committed to learning from the incident to enhance safety protocols. This tragedy has spread throughout the aviation community, highlighting the inherent risks faced by cabin crew members during in-flight emergencies. Industry discussions have reignited around safety measures, particularly those protecting cabin crew during a smoke-related incident. The loss of this young cabin crew member has profoundly affected the Swiss community as well as the broader industry, reminding us of the vital role that airline staff play in ensuring passenger safety and often under extreme conditions. As the investigation continues, Swiss has reaffirmed its dedication to passenger and crew safety, striving to prevent similar incidents in the future. After what feels like a very long wait, a 13-year delay to be in fact, Romania and Bulgaria have finally become full members of the Schengen area, marking a significant milestone for the two Eastern European nations. As of midnight on Wednesday, border checks at the land crossing between these countries and their European Union neighbours have officially ended, allowing free travel within the bloc 29 member borderless zones. What this means for your travels? Well, the Schengen area, established in 1985, is one of the world's largest free travel zones, enabling seamless movement from over 420 million people across 29 countries. For Romania and Bulgaria, this expansion lifts restrictions that previously limited open travel to air and sea routes. Identification checks at land borders with neighbouring EU countries like Hungary and Greece have been seized and making the cross-border travel easier for residents and tourists alike. For example, Hungarian and Romanian officials marked the occasion with a ceremony at the key border crossings. The long road to the Schengen membership, Romania and Bulgaria joined the European Union in 2007, but they faced a prolonged wait to join the Schengen area due to the opposition from countries like Austria. Concerns about border security and unauthorised migration delayed their integration. Now, this is politics at the end of the day, and I don't like politics. I don't really get into it. Do I think that everyone should have a choice of joining the EU in Europe, etc.? Yes. Am I annoyed that the UK chose to leave the EU? Yes, definitely. Would I want to go back in? Yes, definitely. That's my opinion. It's easier for travellers. It's easier for us to get work. But it's also got some benefits, according to what people say. I've not really looked into it. I'm not political. Anyway, moving on. The breakthrough came just months after diplomatic efforts led by Hungary, which held the rotating EU presidency. Austria and other member states ultimately dropped their objections, allowing the long-awaited expansion. This development is expected to strengthen the economic ties and improve travel convenience and definitely foster closer relationships within the region. For instance, the move is significant for the 1 million ethnic Hungarians living in Romania's Transylvania region. Now, every time I say Transylvania, I cannot help myself but think of vampires, and it doesn't feel like the time of year to be thinking about vampires. And anyway, it just simplifies the cross-bordering level and people can just go where they want. Well, what are some challenges facing the Schengen zone? While the inclusion of Romania and Bulgaria is celebrated, the Schengen area faces challenges. This year, several member states, including Germany, of course, Austria and the Netherlands, reinstated temporary border checks over migration and security concerns. EU officials have warned that such measures could undermine the principles of the Schengen Agreement, which was designed to eliminate internal borders within Europe. So it's a little bit controversial, but despite these hurdles, the addition of Romania and Bulgaria underscores the ongoing commitment, the ideals of borderless Europe for travellers, businesses and residents. This milestone represents a step forward in fostering unity and connectivity across the continent. Now, I do have to also say that when it comes to the Schengen zone, if I can say it correctly, You do only get 90 days in a 180 days period, and when you're booking your travel, you need to track this because it can get a little bit lost, especially if you like to go Europe a lot. Fun fact, a dog was actually the first one to freely cross the Bulgarian and Romanian border. And it even got a round of applause by the security, and I'm loving this. This is great. But just to add in, I do have to say, now that Romania and Bulgaria is part of the Schengen area, you do need to consider the 90 in 180 day period that you are allowed access free to from the UK. So this also, if say like me, you like skiing and you've always wanted to go to Bulgaria, but you go to Spain a lot or you go to Italy, you've got to consider that in your 180 days now. Make sure that you don't double cross. Now just be careful because you can get banned from entering for a certain amount of time if you go over your 180 day limit. There's a couple of apps you can download on the App Store to track the days, but if you have a calendar, paper calendar at home, that's easy enough. Or even a notes page, just put in say Spain 14 days, Italy 3 days, Greece 7 days, and add it up. Make sure it's within the 180 day period, put in your date that you first travelled to the 180 days afterwards. It's really easy to track. It's a bit of a pain, but it's not the end of the world. But it's good news at the end of the day, easier travel, and you don't have to deal with more visas, passports, etc. because you can just, well, maybe a passport, but you can just kind of go on through. Anyway, let's move on to the destination of the day, and this is European themed. We're going to go to the Greek island Kos. It's a picturesque island on the outskirts of Greece, and it is renowned for its stunning beaches, rich history, and definitely vibrant nightlife. Like, it is like a baby Ibiza, their nightlife. It's dangerous. Not dangerous, but if you like a party, it's dangerous because you'll be out all night. But there is two parts, before I carry on, there's two parts of the island. You've got the party bit and you've got the quiet bit. So you can separate in that way. But as it's a favoured destination among many UK travellers, of course, because of the partying, it offers a blend of relaxation and cultural exploration. So the estimated flight prices from the UK to Kos is, well, it can vary on many factors such as your departure city, booking time, all that jazz. But anyway, on average, one-way flights from London to Kos start at approximately £35, with return fares around £70. They're really, really cheap. I've been to Kos before. You can just go for a weekend. You don't need to go for a long holiday, but you can also go for a long holiday. But it's easy because airlines like Ryanair and EasyJet offer it, and they have crazy flight deals all the time. But definitely check out in Skyscanner, book in advance, make sure you're flexible with your travel dates, and it can help you secure the absolute best deals. But your average accommodation costs in Kos is, well, that also depends on your budget, right? Because you could stay at a really cheap hostel, but the average price of a hotel is around €63 per night. And I mean, that's a proper hotel with a pool, bar, restaurant, etc. You can stay in places much cheaper for like £40 a night that just might not have a pool or has a really small pool and doesn't have massive amenities. But with high season prices reaching up to €117 per night, you definitely want to make sure that you budget correctly. Budget travellers can actually find 2-star hotels for around €25 a night, but while mid-range 3-star hotels, again, they cost 40 to 60, even more dependent on the season, per night. But don't forget, again, beachfronts, they can be even more. I'd expect 80 per night. It's just a really good place to go, though. Additional considerations that you need to put in is obviously the seasons. If you travel off-peak, it's going to be lower in flights and accommodations cost, and it's also going to be a much more peaceful experience. But make sure you book in advance, securing your flights and your hotels a couple of months beforehand can lead to like massive savings in Kos. You can get a couple of hotels on the night for the people that want to stay in the quiet area and then maybe go to the party area on the other side of the island. It's dead easy to hire a motorbike over, stay overnight, motorbike back. But don't forget that your local expenses and dining/entertainment are genuinely reasonable. Like, you're not expecting to pay quite a lot for a meal, but you're probably looking around €15. That's like a 3-course meal for two with a glass of wine, maybe 20 to 25. It just depends on what your range is. Like, you can definitely go all out, or you can save your pennies there. But in summary, a trip to Kars from the UK can be both enjoyable and affordable, with flight and accommodation options available to fit various budgets. Thanks for tuning in to Escape News, where every day is a journey. Don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a story that inspires your next adventure. Until next time, safe travels and happy exploring.